I am Paul Bruno. I'm an assistant professor of education policy, organization, and leadership at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. I wrote a report on school district finances in California, where they get their money from, what they're spending it on, how that's changed over time. I think some of the key findings are that California school districts are currently in some of the strongest financial position in terms of funding that they've been in a long time, maybe ever, whether we look at spending or how much they're able to save. And California has moved from a below average spending state to above average. California has also made progress at making sure that school districts that serve more disadvantaged students, low-income students, English learners are funded at higher levels, and even that at least some of that money is making it into schools within districts that enroll more of those students. At the same time, we see that a disproportionate share of a lot of that new money is going into a few large budget items, especially special education and staff benefits, so like health insurance and pensions. And so those are simultaneously, along with declining enrollment and declining attendance, still putting some pressure on school districts that maybe mean they don't necessarily feel like they are funded at the high levels that we see on paper. Since the last Getting Down to Facts, we've seen California school districts getting a lot more money from a variety of sources. One is that now the local control funding formula is being funded, fully funded. So you see more and more money being put into LCFF, which is also one of the reasons that we see more dollars going to districts and schools serving disadvantaged students. Though there's also been growth in other local revenues and especially recently federal dollars coming into school districts that are boosting their budgets. For Californians, I think it's important to recognize two things. One is that there's been a lot of success in California school finance, and I think that's important to recognize and to celebrate that things like the local control funding formula are accomplishing a lot of what the state set out to do in terms of funding schools at a higher level and having a more equitable funding system. At the same time, it's important to be aware of the financial pressures that school districts are facing that help understand why they might not feel like they are funded as well as they would like to be, and also what some of the risks are going forward. If school funding, for example, doesn't continue to increase or even falls, what are some of the risks and threats facing school district finances? Those need to be anticipated, so we can think about, are those costs that we can get under control? Do they affect how we need to fund schools going forward? Things like that.